Okay, good morning everybody. I just want to talk about the quantity theory of money, a really an economic idea that tries to identify the relationship between how much money is circulating in the economy and changes to the price level, or as we call it, inflation. So let's start with looking at the definitions. So the quantity theory itself is made up of the equation M times V equals P times Q. Now M, of course, is the money supply, or the quantity of money circulating in the economy. V is how fast we're actually spending that money, so that's calculated by, for example, if we were to follow a $10 note through the system, someone takes $10 out of the bank, they go to a shop, they spend the $10, the shop then puts the money back in the bank, then the bank lends that $10 out again. So how fast over a period of time is that $10 note circulating through the economy? The price level, of course, which you'll all be pretty aware of, is the general level of prices. Okay, and of course Q is the real GDP, or the actual quantity of goods and services produced. So there are two theories, if you like, or two ideas that we have to consider for this quantity theory. The first is the crude theory, and the second is just the sophisticated. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the crude theory first. Okay, crude theory, just the crude theory just says this. It says if M times V equals P times Q, and if we were to hold V, the velocity that money is spent, and Q constant. So the assumption for the crude, remember this is the crude theory, is that V and Q don't change. Okay, so it's just a theory, remember. So we're saying if those two are held constant, then there's a certain relationship between the money supply and the price level, and we call that relationship a proportional relationship. So it means that, or it follows that, M is proportional to P. That funny little sign there is a proportional sign. Look, don't get freaked out by that at all. It just means this. It means that if we were to, so if M increased by 10%, then the price level would increase by 10%. Okay, it's the crude theory. It just says if you hold V, if V and Q don't change, so if we assume that the speed at which we spend money and the quantity of goods and services produced don't change, then a given increase in the money supply, so if you put more money into the economy, it's not us of course, but the government, if the government puts more money into the economy, then the percentage increase in the money in the economy will be reflected by the same percentage increase in the inflation rate. Let's have a look at that. We'll come over here. Let's do a make-believe equation. Okay, I'm going to make up some numbers. So let's say the money supply is 10 and the velocity we spend it is 6. So M is 10, V is 6, equals the price level of 4 and the quantity of goods and services produced is 15. So that's the price level is 4 and the quantity is 15. So everyone can see that 10 times 6 is 60 and 4 times 15 is 60, so they equal each other. Now, if we increase the money supply by 20%, let's do that. So 20% increase in the money supply. 20% of 10 is 2, so that would go to 12. Remember, V doesn't change, so 12 times 6, I think that equals 72, equals something times 15. Okay, and we know that's got to equal 72. Let's just do I'll just pause for a second and do a calculation. So the calculation tells us that the price level would be let's get that working again, 4.8. Okay. Now, those of you who are quick at maths will be able to see that the difference between 4 and 4.8, that shift there, is 0.8 is 20% of 4. So that shift from 4 to 4.8 has been a 20% increase in P. So you can see that the 20% increase in the money supply caused a 20% increase in the price level. Okay, so that's the crude theory. Let's have a look. Second one is the sophisticated theory. Now the sophisticated theory is just this one here. It says, if you like, you go back to the original, go back to that one there, it says that all of those elements are variable. So the sophisticated theory says M, V, P and Q can all change, which makes sense. Okay, and so if we accept that all those 4 elements can change, which is much more sensible really when you think about it, in an economy in a year, you know, the quantity of money, the speed at which we spend it, the price level and the quantity are all going to be slightly variable over the period of a year. Then what we can see is that in the sophisticated theory, if the money supply does increase, say again by 20%, we can't actually tell whether that's going to lead to a 20% inflation rate, because if V and Q are changing, either increasing or decreasing, whatever, at the same time as we're increasing M, then it might not result in a direct effect on the price level. So that's the sophisticated theory, and you just need to be able to talk about what might be the case when all those 4 elements are going to change. So there you are, the crude theory and the sophisticated theory, both of which you need to understand for the exam. Okay, good luck with that.